to rescue South Africa. The next broadcast will start shortly. Did you know the best run municipalities in South Africa are all governed by the DA? DA mayors are working hard to protect residents from bad governance and mismanagement by getting the basics right, delivering better services and having zero tolerance for corruption. This is the DA difference. The next broadcast will start shortly. Follow us on social media for the latest in news and politics in South Africa. Like and follow our page on Facebook. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram and X. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on anything. Be part of the conversation. Tell us what you think in the comment section. And please, like and share our videos with your friends and family. The next broadcast will start shortly. If you care about South Africa and want to make a positive difference, then join the DA. Visit our website at da.org.za for more information. Find out who represents you in your ward and district. Who are the DA mayors working for you in your town or city, and which MPs represent you and your causes in Parliament. On our website, you can learn more about our latest campaigns and how you can get involved. Join the Democratic Alliance to rescue South Africa. Become an activist, become a councillor, become a member of Parliament if you care about South Africa. Please visit donate.da.org.za. Donate to a cause you believe in. Donate to make a difference. Welcome to a broadcast of the Democratic Alliance. Did you know the Democratic Alliance is the stable anchor of the Government of National Unity? DA ministers and DA deputy ministers are getting things done with a special focus on job creation and economic growth, driving down the cost of living and placing the needs of the people first. Join the mission to rescue South Africa. The next broadcast will start shortly. Did you know the best run municipalities in South Africa are all governed by the DA? DA mayors are working hard to protect residents from bad governance and mismanagement by getting the basics right, delivering better services and having zero tolerance for corruption. This is the DA difference. The next broadcast will start shortly. Follow us on social media for the latest in news and politics in South Africa. Like and follow our page on Facebook. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram and X. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on anything. Be part of the conversation. Tell us what you think in the comment section. And please, like and share our videos with your friends and family. The next broadcast will start shortly. If you care about South Africa and want to make a positive difference, then join the DA. Visit our website at da.org.za for more information. Find out who represents you in your ward and district. Who are the DA mayors working for you in your town or city, and which MPs represent you and your causes in Parliament. On our website, you can learn more about our latest campaigns and how you can get involved. Join the Democratic Alliance to rescue South Africa. Become an activist, become a councillor, become a member of Parliament if you care about South Africa. Please visit donate.da.org.za. Donate to a cause you believe in. Donate to make a difference. Let's rescue South Africa. Join the DA, because the DA gets things done.
Good morning, goeiemorgen. Welcome, South Africa. We are live in the Northwest for the Provincial Congress happening here today. I mean, it's such an exciting time. As you can see, the sun is out. It is really, really such a beautiful day for the Blue Machine. Now, my name is Luyolo Mpiti, and I'll be your host today for this live broadcast. Now, if you're watching this from home, please make sure to like and share this broadcast with your family and friends. Now, the people of Northwest have been seeing the worst of the worst when it comes to service delivery. Municipalities have completely broken down. But today, the DA makes a decision, makes a change, a day where the DA chooses its leadership for the province. Now, we'll be having John Steenhuisen, the DA federal leader, making an address to delegates. We'll also be bringing you multiple interviews with DA leaders as we go on in this program. Now, please make sure that you stay tuned with us. It's going to be an exciting day. As you can hear, if you can hear, the cheers inside are going crazy. So we will do our best to make sure that you catch all the beautiful visuals that are happening today. So without further ado, let's head to stage to catch the DA federal leader, John Steenhuisen.
Viva, viva! Pambili, DA, Pambili! Friends, Democrats, colleagues, guests, what a huge privilege to be here with you today at the Northwest Provincial Congress. And what a privilege to be with my blue family here in the Northwest Province. I'm so excited to see the energy and the growth that we have going on in our party. And I'm really excited about what's lying ahead, not only for our party here in the Northwest, but for the party around the rest of South Africa. I can say this to you without a moment's hesitation, that South Africa only succeeds because the DA succeeds. And South Africa will only win when the DA wins. I'm so proud of our internal democracy. I'm so proud that we have internal elections to elect our leaders. There are other organizations in the political spectrum who anoint their leaders for life. Leaders appoint themselves as leaders for life. And that if you don't like what the leader says, you're out the next day. But that's not how we work. Ons werk saam as 'n party en ons binnelike demokrasie is een van die belangrikste beginsels wat ons het as 'n party. My friends, we've achieved so much over the last 6 to 7 years together. And as I said 3 days ago in Durban, that I'm very pleased about what we've been able to accomplish together. Because the party today is a very different party to the party that we had in 2019. We were down and out after the election. We had seen our opponents grow and our votes dissipate. We were told that it was the death of the DA and that everything was bad. The leader had walked off the job and he had said very clearly that the DA was not the vehicle for change in South Africa. Maar kyk hoe lyk ons nou. Kyk hoe lyk ons nou. If there's no better vehicle for change in this country than the DA, then I don't know what a vehicle for change looks like. Because look what we've been able to do in just 18 months in the government of national unity. We have inspired people. We have people voting for us across every level in the country. Look at what we've been able to do. Who would have thought 18 months ago that you would soon be able to go onto your banking app to get your ID or your passport? Who would have thought 18 months ago that cheap internet and cheaper handsets were on the way for our entrepreneurs and our young people across the length and breadth of the country? Who would have said 18 months ago that we would have the best matric pass rate under a DA minister? No one would have believed you, but we not only told people we're going to do it, we have now done it in government. En I can go on and on, maar die waarheid is, daar's net een party wat verlewer vir almal, en dis ons party. Dis die blou party, dis die DA. And we got there through your hard work, through the work of our activists, die werk van ons raadslede, binne dorpies en stede rondom Suid-Afrika, in die saals van die wetgewer en die parlement, het ons vir mense duidelik gewys, dat ons net een party in hierdie land wat op hulle kant is, en dis die DA-party. Dis net een party wat opstaan teen BTW. Dis net een party wat opstaan teen korrupsie en wanbestuur. En daar's net een party wat kan teen hierdie verval in ons plaaslike regering verbeter. Net een party, dis ons party. Maar ek dink dit is ook belangrik voor ek aangaan, om 'n oomblik te vat, om baie dankie aan jou provinsiale leier Leon Beson te sê. Ek dink dit is 'n NP van Wyklou gediggie, wat sê, ek hou van 'n man wat sy man kan staan. En Leon Beson is 'n man wat sy man kan staan. En hy het nie gepraat daaroor nie, hy het vir almal gewys. Leon, I want to say on a personal level, you've been a great friend to me, you've been an incredible leader in this province, and the history is written of the DA's turnaround. Your name and your contribution are going to be remembered in exceptional terms. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you've done. And thank you what you're still going to do for us. I also want to say thank you to your wife and your family. No one knows better than I how much time being a leader takes away from your family and your responsibilities at home. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for sharing Leon with us over the last period. His leadership has been stellar. His friendship has been unmatched. And I know that he goes out of this leadership with a full heart and a recognition that he's achieved what he wanted to achieve over the term of this office. So Leon, thank you very much. Let's give him another big round of applause. Thank you, my friend. So as you deliberate to elect your leadership today, I want to wish you all the success. The choices that you make are important because strong principled leadership at a local level is the foundation of a DA that can govern, deliver, and win. And I want to also say that the DA is a unique party in that leaders can come and leaders can go. Maar ons waardes, ons beginsels, ons missie bly daar. And the DA is now going to enter into a new chapter in the Northwest, and after April, it will enter into a new chapter nationally. But our values and principles that we have carried with us from as far back as 1959 are the same values and principles that are carried today. Now, I read regularly the nonsense that gets written in places like the Daily Maverick and others. And they say, no, the DA's been swallowed by the ANC. Well, I want to remind them, there's a famous saying, you are what you eat. You are what you eat. And that is why we're seeing economic growth. That is why we're seeing unemployment numbers going down. That is why we're seeing getting off the grey list. That's why we see the rand strengthening, because the DA is now at the heart of government. So continue to eat. Because the more the green monster eats, the bluer the monster will become. And eventually in 2029, we will be the party that will be doing the eating across the spectrum. I can tell you that. But we've got some way to go there. and we've got a local government election to get through first. And Democrats, when I travel across the Northwest, ek hoor dieselfde probleme alweer en alweer. En dit maak nie saak in die klein dorpies of die groot stede in hierdie provinsie. Die mense soek water in hulle krane. Hulle wil krag binne hulle huise hê. Hulle wil paaie wat besigheid verbeter. En hulle kinders by die skool veilig te kry. Hulle het klinieke wat werk nodig. En hulle het munisipaliteite wat werk nodig. En ek het gesien wat gebeur elke dag in plekke soos Mahikeng, Ditsabotla, Madebeng, Rustenburg en Ruth Segomotsi, Mompati District. Die dienslewering is so erg dat die Menseregte Kommissie het weet nou wat gaan aan in hierdie munisipaliteite. Now, Democrats, a working municipality is not a luxury. It's not a nice to have. And it's not an unreasonable expectation for our citizens. It is about getting the basics right. It's about something other than just politics. And it is about making the right choices. Because in a democracy, there's only so much that a political party can do. But there's also a responsibility for the voters in those municipalities. And in this election, there is such a clear choice for the voters in our municipalities across the Northwest. They can carry on with the verval, they can carry on with corruption and maladministration, they can carry on giving jobs to friends and girlfriends and the like, they can carry on stealing the money at these municipalities. All the people in this province can draw a line in the sand. They can draw a line in the sand and say so far and no further. And that line in the sand has to be drawn in the municipal election coming up in November this year. That line needs to be drawn on the ballot papers that people will be issued in the voting stations across this province. And that line has to be clear. And it needs to be a thick blue line. And that line has to translate into a cross next to the DA on the ballot box. Because we can waste our votes on smaller parties, we can indulge in the luxuries of saying, yeah, but this and that, and the DA is this and that. But the reality is the Northwest has run out of time. We're now in injury time. And let me tell you, if we don't win this in this election, and voters don't make the right choice, the game will be over. And what little remains of our municipalities and what little remains of our communities will crumble even further over the weight of another 5 years. And so the choice is clear, and it's as simple as this. You can stay voting for the same people who got you into the mess, or you can vote for people who can get you out of the mess. It's as simple as that. You can tear up every political party pamphlet. You can turn off every political party advert. But that is the simple choice. A party that governs well or a party that steals. A party that delivers on what it says or more 5 years of lies and deception. A party that has a track record of getting things done, or parties that have a track record of getting everything wrong. That is the simple choice. It's not rocket science. It's not biophysics. It's none of these things. It is a simple choice. You can stay as you are for the rest of your life, or you can change to the DA. And I know what I want to do for the people of the Northwest. We need them to join us in this journey. En om dit te doen, moet ons seker wees oor ons boodskap. En ons moet daai boodskap van goeie nuus om elke stoep in die land en in hierdie provinsie te praat. I say always politics is a contact sport because you need contact with voters. And so we need, as Democrats, as activists, as public representatives, as professional staff to fan out from halls like this and sweep across the rest of this province, on every doorstep, in every voorkraal, in every communal land, in every township, in every informal settlement. And we have to take this message of good news to the people of South Africa. And we can now show them what happens when you govern and govern well. Because just look at the track record that we go into this municipal election with. The best run municipalities in the country are all run by the DA. Yes. The cleanest, most accountable governments in the country are all run by the DA. Yes. The municipalities that deliver are all run by the DA. Yes. And if you don't believe us, just listen to the leader of the ANC, who acknowledges that DA-run municipalities are the best in the country. In Midvaal, clean audits and competent management have translated into stable services and economic growth. In Umgeni, under Mayor Papas, DA leadership has restored trust, attracted investment, and improved service delivery. In Kocha, communities chose change, and today they live in the cleanest, best-run municipality in the Eastern Cape. And these are not accidents. These successes are not just, well, we were lucky and it all worked out. They're the outcome of a different way of governing. Because you see, unlike other parties that put themselves at the center, the DA puts people first. Ons sit mense eerste. En alles wat ons doen, is om die mense se lewe beter te maak. Om vir hulle die dienste wat hulle nodig het te lewer. Om seker te maak dat hulle bly in veilige gemeenskappe. Dat hulle sit nie met die wanbestuur en korrupsie van die stadsaal wat die verval doen in hierdie munisipaliteite. And we've seen what happens to our small towns and our economic areas when decay sets in. In Lichtenberg, we saw what happened when the electricity and the water services forced the Clover dairies out of there. They relocated to Durban. And with them went the jobs, and with them went the opportunity, and with them went the rates income. And that story is repeated over and over in every single municipality in this province. And so, we need to step in and we need to step up. And I have no doubt whatsoever that if we are able to take that message of hope and change to every single community and every single person in this province, that they will choose the DA to rescue them. Because on election day in November, it will be Liberation Day. It'll be liberating our towns and cities from mismanagement, corruption, confusion, and decay, and blowing into them a new lease of life, the blue oxygen of the DA into the dying corpse of our towns and cities. And that sweet blue oxygen will restore those bodies to full health and make sure that they are functioning and working well. And unlike other parties, ons het die baanrekord om vir mense te sê, kyk hoe dit werk waar die DA regeer. En dis 'n baie magtige boodskap daai. Om te sê, ons praat net oor wat ons wou doen. Ons wys vir jou wat ons alreeds gedoen het. And, yes, you can applaud, that's a great idea. Let's have a give you a chance to have some water. With these woke lids that don't come off. So we've got an opportunity in this election. Now, my friends, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for the love, the care that you have shown me over my leadership journey. Through good times and bad, and through 3 congresses, I've put my faith in you, and you've returned that by putting faith in me. It has been it has been my absolute honor to lead this party through thick and thin. And it's been one hell of a ride. But now the ride has ended, and it's time for a new era to begin. And I will not be leading the party into the next local government elections, but I'll be walking every step of the way alongside you as we campaign. So I want everybody to be clear about the mission. And that mission is simply this, that in the Northwest, our goal is to reduce the ANC's majority to below 50% in municipalities across the province, and to become the largest party in as many councils as possible. And we mustn't be distracted along the way by these small parties that yup and bluff. They are the parties of instability, and they've shown us what they do in Joburg and in every other type of coalition that they've tried to put together here in the Northwest, this residents forum, that group of people, this one, all knowing better and thinking that it's so easy to get in and govern these municipalities when it is complex and hard, but we have the recipe to do it. And those little parties and residents associations are manipulated by these other parties that then put power ahead of the people. And that's not the DA. We govern from the simple belief that people deserve water, they deserve safety, they deserve dignity, and they deserve opportunity. And this local government election must be won by trust, and it must be won by care. It will be won because every conversation that you have, every branch you organize, and every single voter you persuade by doing your job to the best of your ability is going to make the change. So I'm inspired by the work of our Blue Army here. I want to tell you that you have a national government where the DA is fighting, which is on your side. But real change begins here on the ground. So be heartened. You are building something bigger than an election result. You are building the foundations of South Africa's future. And on that foundation will be the assault that we launch in 2029 to become the largest party at a national level, because that is the day that South Africa will feel true liberation. That will be the day where finally the shackles of the past are thrown off. That will be the day when good economic growth begins and corruption ends. Because where the DA governs, life gets better. Where the DA is in charge, things work. And so, my colleagues and friends, regardless of whether your candidate comes in today or not, whether the person you voted for is victorious or not, let us leave this hall today more united and more focused than ever, ready to show again what ahead lies for us. Our mission is certain. We have the people to get it done. We have the policy platform to do it. And so, my friends, let's go forward together and change South Africa forever. Thank you very much.
Viva DA, viva! Oi, oi, Jan, oi, oi!
As DA op jou lappa, as DA op jou jappa, op DA doen het lekker, op DA doen het lekker. As DA op jou lappa, as DA op jou jappa, op DA doen het lekker, op DA doen het lekker.
Hier kom my blauwtrein, die DA ry die blauwtrein. Hier kom my blauwtrein, die DA ry die blauwtrein. Hier kom my blauwtrein, die DA ry die blauwtrein. Hier kom my blauwtrein, die DA ry die blauwtrein.
My mama stem vir die ai, my papa stem vir die ai, my neighbor stem vir die ai, ons almal stem vir die ai. My mama stem vir die ai, my papa stem vir die ai, my neighbor stem vir die ai, ons almal stem vir die ai.
Die DA doen het lekker, ons almal skreef vir die ai. Ons is sy trotse blauwspan, die DA op die bane. Die DA doen het lekker, ons almal skreef Viva DA, viva! Aye! Aye, cheers John, cheers. Die DA doen het lekker. Ja.
We are coming. Keep playing that song, DA. Okay.
Okay, right. You thought you'd got rid of me already. But as I told the media, I'll be back. I have a huge honor today and a duty that I've been asked to fulfill, and it's one I fulfill with great privilege. And that is to announce our mayoral candidate for the JB Marks municipality.
Oi, oi!
We know we can win in JB Marks. We've won before, but now voters there need to give us a bigger mandate and a bigger majority so that we can win properly this time.
Let's
and that
do
we won't
it.
be pushed out. And so the mayoral candidate is going to have to lead that campaign like a general from the front, a fighting general from the front. He's going to have to marshal the Blue Army towards achieving that objective. He's going to have to marshal the resources to activating our activists and empowering them to do that change. And I can think of no person better for that job than the JB Marks mayoral candidate for this election, Dr. Theo Venter.
Viva Theo, viva! Pagama, Theo, pagama! Viva! Come on, Theo! Viva, Theo, viva! Your incoming mayor of JB Marks. Gana, Theo, gana! Gana, Theo, gana! Come in, Theo!
Thank you. It seems to me, as an old dog, I'll have to learn new tricks. Several new tricks that I've seen here today. I'm humbled by my nomination as mayoral candidate for JB Marks for the 2026 local government election. And I want to thank everybody that was involved in the selection process in encouraging me and those kind of things. So ek is nederig in my erkentlikheid om benoem te word as die burgemeesterskandidaat vir die Demokratiese Alliansie en bedank almal wat daarin 'n rol gespeel het. Ek is, soos ek hier voor julle staan, reeds sedert 1974 betrokke in Potchefstroom op een of ander manier. Nadat ek hier gestudeer het, 'n bietjie in die weermag gedraai gemaak en in die VSA gaan studeer het, woon ek sedert 1984 ononderbroke in Potchefstroom. En is hier waar ek my vrou ontmoet het en waar my kindertjies aan skole was soos Woelen, Werkskap, Bailey Park, Mooi Rivier, Ferdinand Postma en Gemies. En natuurlik almal geswat aan die NWI. Nie alleen bly ons 42 jaar reeds in Potch nie, maar ons het ook besluit om hier af te tree. Potch het die infrastruktuur en die gemeenskap waarin ek dink 'n mens maklik kan aftree. Miskien op 'n ligter noot, moet ek net sê, ek is 'n Laagveld mens. Ek is in 'n plekkie gebore met die naam van Duivelskloof. My vrou is in Pretoria gebore. So sy wil see toe gaan en ek wil Wildtuin toe gaan. En toe het ons besluit, ons bly maar in Potch, want die N12 vat jou of suid of vat jou noord, so ons bly net hier. So I grew up in a house where basic values were the norm and where good manners and respect were regarded as non-negotiable. And I think my wife shared exactly the same kind of upbringing. And I've learned from my parents that service to your community and to make a conscious contribution is really what it is all about. And when I came back to South Africa in 1984, we lived in the US for 2 years. The first thing I did was to get involved in solving the housing crisis in Moadine, together with two fascinating people, the one Satish Rupa, the other one Ibrahim Suleiman. Both of them became mayors of Potchefstroom later on and went on to do other things. But that involvement in the community was always part of my stay in Potch. And then, of course, following that period with them, I'm confronted where people are saying, why would you give up 42 years of being an independent analyst to now join the Democratic Alliance and to become the mayoral candidate? Well, my motivation, I would like to stipulate very clearly. I've watched governance and see it fail in local governments for decades. I've spoken about it and analyzed it for 40 years. I've helped students and leaders to understand what good governance look like. I know exactly what's going wrong. And at my age, for me, this is not a career move. This is a new step. It's the final act where I can contribute something to my community. And I did not join the DA because I want to become partisan, to use the American term. I joined the DA because it's the only platform where good local governance is consistently proven, providing fairness, opportunity, and diversity. And for thanks. This was my first year, 12 minutes past 12. I'll get used to it. For most of my life, I believed my contribution to society was to analyze, to teach, to plan, to critique, and to help people think more clearly about politics and governance. But there comes a point where continuing to analyze without stepping forward becomes a form of avoidance. That's what confronted me. I'm convinced that this is the time and the opportunity to step into the JB Marks municipality and all its people and to help. Sedert 84 was ek verbonde aan die NWU, die universiteit hier, op baie plekke, tot my aftrede in 2020. En dit het my die geleentheid gegee om baie vaardighede op te bou, maar veral in plaaslike owerheid. Naast die nasionale politiek, wat my baie besig gehou het en wat ek nou afsluit, was ek onder andere fasiliteerder in die samevoeging van Klerksdorp, Oknie, Stilfontein en Hartbeesfontein, tot by die Matlosana Stadsraad, wat my kollegas beter moet maak. Ek was die fasiliteerder in Zeerust, ek was dit in Randfontein, ek het reg oor die Noordwes provinsie, ook in Potchefstroom, as fasiliteerder gehelp. So ek kom 'n baie lang pad hiermee saam. En my bydrae tot die dorp is belangrik. En in my terugkyk besef ek toe, in 2000 reeds, het ons by die stadsraad van die destydse Potchefstroom, voor dit Tlokwe geword het, en ek gaan net nou oor Tlokwe praat, het ons 'n E-strategie ontwikkel vir Potch, wat ons gesê het in 2010, nou 2010 is 16 jaar gelede, behoort Potch reeds die volgende te kan doen, dat hy, en daar's 'n grafika wat ek graag wil wys, en ek het hierdie voordrag gaan lewer in Amerika in 2001, om te sê hoe ver Potch gevorder het. Daar's nog, toe die ou pik was, by vir CAO. En toe ek in die dokument kyk, te besef ek, in ANC regeertyd het daar eenvoudig niks gebeur nie. Ek sou 'n beter woord kon gebruik, maar hy begin met 'n F, maar ek kan nie op hierdie verhoor nie. Daar het niks gebeur nie. Looking back after 24 years, it's a pity that the City Council and ANC rule could not follow through on the initiative when we were actually predating the electronic age. We had a system where everything can be managed electronically. that will be part of what I'm bringing back. And I will have to relook that strategy. En dan in 2007, paar jaar later, is daar weer 'n beroep op my gemaak om betrokke te raak toe die ANC die naam van die stadsraad sowel as van die dorp, die geografiese naam, wou verander na Tlokwe. En ons het hulle hard aangeneem. Ons is deel van wat ons genoem het aksie Potchefstroom, en hier tussen julle sit Desiree van der Walt, wat destyds deur die DA afgevaardig is om ons by te staan. Desiree, jy is nog in die foto's. Ek en Proppie Stelee, hy is al oorlede, het die ding gedoen, en uit hierdie hofsaake en 'n veldtog wat ons gevoer het daar uiteindelik, en daar's 'n foto daaroor, waar ons die jonger ek, toe ons die ding oorhandig het na ons gematch het. Maar meer is dit. In 2008 kry ek 'n brief, en ek wens jy sal die brief ook wys. Hy lê in my teenwoordigheid, daar by die huis in 'n leiertjie, wat die geografiese pleknaamraad vir my geskryf het en gesê het, wow, ons stop, ons gaan nie meer Potch se naam verander nie. So dis 'n klein wen wat die gemeenskap van Potch reeds in 2008 gehad het. Die stadsraad het Tlokwe gebly, en die ANC het dit self verander na JB Marks. So die bestaan van die woord Tlokwe het eintlik uit die toneel verdwyn na daai veldtog. En die ANC het in so 2012 begin om Ventersdorp nader te trek vir politieke redes. Hulle het dit self teenoor my erken, en die JB Marks kwessie het ingekom. Maar voor dit was daar nog 'n baie belangrike ander faktor waarby ek betrokke was, wat my ook 'n spesiale kyk gegee het op plaaslike regering, en dit was die Spaanse inval. Toe Spanje Potch gebruik het as hulle basis om die sokkerwêreldbeker aan deel te neem, wat hulle gewen het, en om hulle hier te kry, moes ons die lughawe verleng. Ek was die projekbestuurder, die Noordwes Universiteit het my heeltemal gelos, dat ek dit kon doen saam met die stadsraad. Ons het 'n ongelooflike goeie projek gehad, binne begroting, binne tyd. En toe kom daar, en ek dink dis die laaste skyfie wat hulle sal wys, toe kom daar 'n versoek dat ons hierdie ding moet ontwikkel in 'n lugvaartakademie. Ons doen al die werk. Ons praat met die regering, ons praat met die SAL, ons praat met Massey Universiteit in Nieu-Seeland, wat dieselfde het, 'n lughawe by die dorp, teen die universiteit, en waar jy al die goed kan doen. En toe ons wou doen, toe Tsupra Maimapelo die lisensie van Potchefstroom vir die Chinese gegee in Mahikeng. En dit is waar baie van hierdie goeders op die grond val. En iets wat min mense weet, die sokkerwêreldbeker, die FIFA, het vir ons 'n bruidskat gegee, omdat ons die Spanjaarde hier gehandhaaf het, en omdat hulle gewen het om sokkervelde in Ikageng te bou, om die sportgeriewe in Ikageng op te tel. Toe ons vra, waar is dit? Toe moet ons uitvind, 'n Suid-Afrikaanse diplomaat in Spanje het na die Spanjaarde toe gegaan en vir hulle gesê, vat die geld en gaan bou vir ons 'n sokkerveld naby Newcastle, want hulle het dit meer nodig as wat Potch dit nodig het. Gelukkig, en ek gaan nie hierdie ou se naam noem nie, maar julle kan gaan kyk in die argiewe, gelukkig het hy onder die bus beland, toe die Guptas op Waterkloof land, want hy was die ou wat toestemming gegee het en hy is gefire. Maar ons het ook nie die sportvelde gekry nie, so dis nou daarna toe. In 2011, 2012, 2013, baie belangrike tyd in Potch, is 'n paar jaar gelede. Faksiegevegte in die ANC maak dat die DA vir 'n tydperk die stadsraad regeer. Daar is 'n verkiesing wat kom, maar die DA doen nie so goed as wat ons gedink het nie. En ek dink nog steeds, en nou praat ek met my hoed op as analis, dat die DA toe baie beter kon doen as wat hy gedoen het, as die DA op die nasionale vlak meer kennis geneem het oor wat plaaslike behoeftes was en wat plaaslik nodig was. En as ek iets kan regkry, is dit om dit wat in Potchefstroom, JB Marks gaan nodig wees om te wen, dat ek die ondersteuning van die federale vlak af en van provinsiale vlak af sal kry vir die uniekhede van die JB Marks omgewing. So in breë trekke, wat wil ek hê moet gebeur? Hier is die hooftrekke. Ek wil in die eerste plek, en dit kan ek so half as my visie vir julle deurgee, is om na die mense te luister. Ek wil hoor, wat sê iemand soos Mita Sonteya van my Happy Straat? Want ek ry dikwels deur Promosa en dit lyk nie goed nie. Ek wil hoor, wat sê Piet Smit van Ventersdorp? Ek weet, ons is saamgevoeg gedwing, maar is belangrik, terwyl ons aan mekaar verbind is, dat ons ook daarna luister. Ek wil hoor, wat sê George Sekwane en Dinikoe Strif? Dis alles kante van JB Marks. Om op die tweede plek, om dit wat ons van die mense op die grondvlak gehoor het, te prioriseer en om daarvolgens 'n plan te ontwikkel. Ek wil 'n plan ontwikkel na aanleiding van wat die mense sê. Ek wil nie 'n plan gaan maak wat in 'n studeerkamer ontwikkel is en op die mense afgedwing word nie. Ek dink nie dis die DA se styl nie. En dan in die derde plek, om die prioriteite van die stadsraad en die stadsraad se finansiële vermoëns te belyn. En een van dit is om van korrupsie en wanbestuur ontslae te raak en ondersoeke te loods as dit moet. En dan natuurlik om, soos Ivan Meyer reeds gesê het, om ons onlosmaaklik aan gesonde bestuurspraktyke te verbind. That's governance, bestuurspraktyke. Want ons het nie 'n goeie woord in Afrikaans daarvoor nie. Ek is oortuig daarvan dat die DA die vermoë het om 'n oorwinning by die stembus te behaal. As ek nie oortuig daarvan was nie, sou ek nie gestaan het nie. En in ons diverse omgewing, en dat die dekades van swak en disfunksionele bestuur van die ANC en gemeenskappe na die DA toe laat uitreik. Die JB Marks munisipale area is groot. Dit strek oor 6.400 vierkante meter van die Vaalrivier in die suide, amper tot by Vogwil aan die een kant, tot by die Okniebrug aan die ander kant en tot by Klerkskraaldam aan die bokant. So dis landelik en stedelik. So ons gaan baie fyn moet luister, ook na die landelike stem en die stem van die mense. Byvoorbeeld as jy na die Klerkskraaldam toe ry jy by Rysmuurbult verby en daar's altyd die vraag, kan ons of kan ons nie? Ons moet uitvind, hoekom brand in 'n tyres by Rysmuurbult? En ons moet miskien iets daaraan doen. People often generalize poor governance by crying out loud that there's no service delivery. We have to give voice to those cries by listening carefully and to pay attention to the elements of poor service delivery. We can make a list of these things, and you've seen them before, but I'm not going to, I'll tell you when I continue. I received a letter this morning, and I'm going to read just 2 paragraphs out of this letter. A very prominent member of the Noordwes University Council, and I'm not going to name his name, but he's a national figure, wrote a letter to the mayor of Potchefstroom yesterday. And he's writing, I'm writing to express my deep disappointment regarding the level of dilapidation I witnessed during a recent visit to your town. The current state of infrastructure and basic services reflects significant levels of neglect, sê die mense van buite af. Specifically, I observed the following issues: roads, massive potholes on most roads, endanger students and residents who commute daily by bike, bicycle and by taxi. Traffic lights, signals, lighting. Numerous traffic lights are not working or functioning, and lamp poles are lying on the ground. Dit sien mense wat deur Potch ry. Maintenance and trash. Trash collection is inadequate, leading to overflowing bins and public areas, including pavements and roadsides. And then he adds, including pavement of roadsides. And then he adds, finally, these are fundamental services that municipal workers and office bearers are responsible for providing. The lack of leadership and accountability in executing basic cleaning and maintenance reflects disrespect for the residents of Potch. Ek kan net daarmee saamstem. And disregard the constitutional values of accountability, transparency, and responsiveness. A very important statement. And I'm glad that you've sent me his letter, because I think it encompasses my feeling also about Potch and why I wanted to be involved. So you can move on a little bit, because I chose, and another one, there we are. 'n Mens kan 'n baie lang lys maak van al die probleme by JB Marks. Maar my lewensuitkyk was nog altyd dat dit makliker is om te kritiseer. Ek het dit vir 40 jaar gedoen. Maar baie moeiliker om die regte ding betyds en op die regte manier te doen. Dis die mindset verandering vir my. Dit is die roete wat die DA stap en wat dit vir my maklik gemaak het om die beleid en die benadering van die DA te omarm en hierdie nuwe stap in my lewe te neem. Ek sien bekwame DA-lede hier voor my, met energie, met bereidwilligheid om die JB Marks munisipaliteit te red van ondergang. Ek steun die regsproses rondom die skeiding tussen Potch en Ventersdorp, want dit is van die begin af verkeerd gedoen. Maar solank as wat Ventersdorp deel is van die JB Marks munisipaliteit, gaan ons dit beskou as 'n geïntegreerde deel. Maar daar kom 'n regaksie. En ek wil van die begin af sê waar ek staan daaroor. En ek sal ewe hard werk vir beide die dorpe. Ek aanvaar die benoeming as DA-kandidaat vir uitvoerende burgemeester van die JB Marks munisipaliteit met entoesiasme en met oortuiging dat die DA die komende verkiesing kan wen en dat ons, soos in die geval van Noordwes mense, die ervaring van plaaslike regering kan verander. Dit dink ek is wat ons kan regkry. Ek het die grootste deel van my lewe spandeer aan navorsing en onderrig en beplanning. Nou stap ek in 'n nuwe bedeling in waar ek goed wil laat gebeur op grondvlak. Ek wil 'n aanvoelbare en 'n konstruktiewe bydrae lewer tot hoe kiesers plaaslike regering beleef. En my pa sou nou gesê het, Sela. Thank you very much.
It's awesome to see you. It's almost been 2 years that you've been the Minister of Public Works. If you look at where that department is and the burning fire that it came from, how important was the GNU for that?
No coalition government is ever perfect. But if you say, is South Africa better today than it was on the 24th of May, 2024? The answer is absolutely yes. Unemployment is coming down. Growth has doubled in a year. We're off the grey list. We have received an investment upgrade for the first time in 2 decades. All of that is not happening by chance.
The reality is that if we did not have a GNU that included the Democratic Alliance, that included the ministers in the departments we have in there, a lot of the stability and growth had been gone.
Well, welcome back, South Africa. My name is Luyon on PT. We are still live at the Northwest Provincial Congress today, where the Northwest will be choosing its new leadership for the people of Northwest. So it is quite a significant day here for the people of Northwest. We have just heard from the DA federal leader, John Steenhuisen, addressing the delegates. And of course, we've just heard that announcement, the mayoral candidate for JB Marks Municipality, Professor Theo Venter, who just addressed the delegates. So it truly is an incredible day. But now, I'll be joined by two guests who will be joining us. I hear from the team that we do have been managed to get just one guest, which is the current DA provincial leader, Leon Basson, who will be joining us to just share his reflections and thoughts as we are here at the Northwest Provincial Congress. Now, Leon Basson, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, it's quite a significant day here today in the Northwest, the Provincial Congress.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm much impressed with what we have got here today. It's excellent. The vibe is excellent here, and we've got a high percentage of delegates that turned up for this Congress. And like you say, there's going to be new leadership. I'm stepping down as the leader, and we await the announcement of the new leadership that will have to take this party forward. I think it's important that the leadership needs to take an overview of the time you are there. I served 6 years. I have brought the party out of a difficult situation in 2020 of the Schweizer-Reinicke debacle that we had, and we managed to bring the party back. Where I leave this party, today we are stronger than we were in 2020. We've got our structures on the ground, we've got administration working, and now it's time for the DA to double our councillors in this next election, and that is positive for the people of Northwest.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also a very important election that we're going into, the local government elections. I'm sure the team here at Northwest is ready. What can you tell us about the message that the Northwest will be giving to the people of the Northwest?
Well, if you want any change in your town, whether you stay in a dorpie, a village, or you're staying in a city, if you want change there, you need to come out and vote. You need to register so that you can vote. And it's important for us that the people come out in their numbers to vote and topple the ANC and make sure that we in this province can govern in the dorpies and small municipalities as well as in the metros.
And I mean, Leon, there's quite a number of municipalities that have really broken down here in the Northwest that really need the DA difference.
Yeah, well, we know what the DA difference is. If you look at Midvaal and you look in the Western Cape, what we have achieved there, it is important to know that if the DA governs, we govern well, and we are ready to take over these municipalities and change it for the better.
Well, that is Leon Basson. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for your incredible leadership in the Northwest for the past 6 years. It is indeed an incredible day here in the Northwest, as Leon has indicated, where the new provincial leadership that will be taking the Northwest forward will be chosen here today. Now, again, we've just heard from DA Federal Leader John Steenhuisen, who has delivered a message to the people of Northwest that indeed hope is on the way, that the DA is ready to deliver better services, clean governance, where we deliver for the people. Now, I want us to quickly, we've managed to just get two guests with us during this Congress. I mean, there's a lot going on, and we've managed to get their attention. But please stay tuned with me. We'll be having two exciting guests that will be joining us and telling us more about what is happening in government. We'll be right back.
Some recent news, John Steenhuisen, the federal leader, will not stand for re-election in the upcoming Congress.
John was brave enough to pick up this party when it was at its lowest point, maybe ever.
Yeah.
And then, of course, his biggest achievement was taking us into national government. The DA today is a much better, much stronger, much more coherent and much more focused party than it was in 2019. I'm incredibly proud of what he's achieved when you leave at your highest support levels. That is maturity. That is political intuition. And that's incredible, because there are political parties in this country that have had the same leader for 30 years.
Correct.
There are some political parties in this country where congresses are banned, or people are just appointed. They will never ever have an election.
The DA Podcast.
Welcome back. We are still live here at the Northwest Provincial Congress. We just spoke to Leon Besson, the outgoing provincial leader of the Northwest. Now, I promised you that we will be joined by two very exciting guests. I am joined by Mama Jane Sithole, who is the Deputy Minister of Small Business and Development, but also wears another hat, which is the provincial leader of Mpumalanga. So really great to have you. We're also joined by the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, Silo Setlulu. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me start with you, Mom Jane. How are you feeling? What is the energy? How does it feel to be in the Northwest?
Yo, I am telling you, it feels so great. The energy is electrifying. You should have seen in there, the activists are excited, the members, the supporters. I also look forward to Mpumalanga. I wish we're going to have the same energy that I've seen here in the Northwest today.
Now, Silo, your home province, of course. It must be such an exciting time.
Home province, hometown, such an exciting time. I've grown up here. I went to university, school here, everything. I live here. And I do not think of any other municipality where I would move to, relocate to, whether it's work, whether it's whatever the reasons may be. So much potential here. Such a beautiful, beautiful venue as well for our Congress. Our staff have to take really, really great credit for having chosen this venue. Look at all the, the grass, the trees and everything. It's absolutely amazing. And I agree with Mom Jane. Absolutely electric. And it's very exciting to be here today.
Mama, now just to maybe just bring back things to government, you are the Deputy Minister of Small Business and Development. Can you just tell us what are some of the exciting things that, the young entrepreneurs, the young people, what can they expect from the department coming to them soon?
Particularly young people. I'm glad that you're mentioning young people. If they had listened to the budgets when they were presented, more money is allocated to young people, to women and people with disabilities. They need to take advantage of this. They need to access this. What we are seeing is that more and more entrepreneurs are being created, and which is really a sign that shows that the future does look bright. More and more young people are innovating. More young people are coming up with solutions for this country. And I want to encourage even more young people to stand up and be counted. Don't sit with that idea at home. Bring it to life, and we will help you to make sure that it assists this country. As a young person, you need to stand up and make sure that the solutions for this country come from young people.
Well, Mom Jane, we've also seen you, quite in a number of publications where they're saying you are on the ground, the most visible Deputy Minister, engaging with entrepreneurs, stopping on roads and speaking to people who are selling vegetables and just really engaging with people who are trying to start small businesses. It must be a very interesting aspect that you are doing. But what is the outcomes of the work that has been happening?
Yes, I always believe that, you can't talk about it if you haven't seen it. In the DA, particularly on oversights, we always said you can't talk about it if you haven't been there. So you can't represent people if you don't understand their daily challenges. And that is why I'm more on the ground than in my office. I really believe that entrepreneurs have got the solutions for the current situations that they face. And that is why you would have also noticed that I have really gone hard on red tape. We need to exempt small businesses from some of the things that are happening now. There's just too much that is required from them, and they are not moving forward. And that I have taken it upon my shoulders to say we need to power small businesses and we need to exempt them from some of the bargaining council's agreements. We can't expect them to succeed while we are busy strangling them with all these regulations.
Well, Silo, I want to bring you in. Department of Water and Sanitation, quite a lot happening across the country with the crisis of water. But you've been doing sterling job around pollution of dams. And can you just tell us more about that particular work? And I think there was an exciting discovery that you made that really assisted a lot of people in our country.
Well, one of the things that we don't talk about quite openly is how deeply polluted our waters are. And it talks about the water value chain. Now, a lot of people obviously protest when there's no water that's coming out of their taps. They barricade roads, they burn tires and whatnot. And that's the end of the value chain, the end product when you open your tap. That's when you get water. But it actually doesn't start there. It actually starts with our dams and our rivers, because that is where our water boards or water services providers have to abstract the water, treat it to potable standards in their water treatment plants, and then obviously send it in bulk to municipalities who then have the responsibility to reticulate. If we do not take care and really look at the beginning of the value chain, of course the end of the value chain is wholly compromised, and that is why I'm so big on addressing the issue of pollution, particularly because most of the pollution is caused by raw sewage. In terms of our Green Drop report, over 330 wastewater treatment plants are dysfunctional or in a critical state. What that means is we've got so much sewage that's going into our water resources, polluting our water, making it difficult to treat or making it more expensive to treat. And if it's more expensive to treat, it means it's more expensive to buy by municipalities. And if it's more expensive to buy by municipalities, it also means that it's expensive to buy for the end consumer. So that is why the protection of the beginning of the value chain is so fundamentally important. And who is responsible for the provision of the end of the value chain? It's municipalities. And unfortunately, because of the nature and extent of the collapse of municipalities here in the Northwest and across many other parts in the country, they are unable to be able to provide that particular basic service of water and sanitation. The Constitution is very clear. It is municipalities that need to be able to provide the service. We regulate at a national level. We've got two principal legislations that are undergoing amendments in order to empower the Minister of Water and Sanitation to intervene where there is a crisis. But we know, as a matter of fact, in Koga, in Midval, in Umgeni local municipality, where there is actual service delivery that's taking place, is that you don't need to rely on amendments of national legislation because you are already getting the basic right.
And I mean, you've been on the ground. We've seen you traveling the entire country, doing oversight and seeing some of the challenges. Can you tell us more about that?
So the biggest challenges that we find, and we obviously believe as the DA that, you have to make your decisions based on evidence. You don't just make decisions out of nowhere. The green and the blue and the no drop reports of the Department of Water and Sanitation tell us one or two things. One, operation and maintenance is not taking place in municipal water and sanitation infrastructure. Two, there is not a proper appointment of people who are qualified and fit for purpose to actually undertake operation and maintenance of water and sanitation infrastructure at a municipal level. What does this mean? It means that there is no reinvestment into the infrastructure. It means those people who are supposed to know what a clarifier is, who are supposed to know what a digester is, actually don't know the difference, because there's still this insistence of appointing people based on party political lines, the deployment as it were. And those things are happening primarily at a local government level. With the elections that are looming, we have a fundamental responsibility to raise these issues as a Democratic Alliance, to make sure that we actually crisscross the country, to elevate who actually is responsible for the collapse, where people are unable to get services that are well enshrined within our Constitution. And I think it's fundamentally important to be able to separate exactly whose responsibility is it to provide the service and who is actually failing. At a national level, yes, there are challenges, but those are not challenges that are necessarily trickling down and making it impossible for people to get water and dignified sanitation services. It is municipalities that are at the forefront of delivering the service that are fundamentally and otherwise failing to do so.
Well, before I let you guys go, I'll start with you, Mama. It's an important election that we are going into, the local government elections. Really, this is where the people of South Africa see service delivery face to face. What should South Africans know about this election that we are going to?
I am telling you, this election that we are going to, it is time for South Africans to actually make a choice that will benefit them. Because local government is the closest to you. The choices that you're going to make is going to determine whether there's water in your tap, whether your roads get fixed, whether your rubbish gets picked up, whether there is a transport for your children to school. All these things are very, very close to local government, because if our roads are not well, we know what happens. So we are saying to you, it is your choice, and make sure that that choice can benefit you, your children, your community, because it is in your hands. When you make that cross, think about that. Think about your water. Think about the sewer that's flowing in your street. It doesn't have to be that way. You know that you can change that, and this is the time you will get your chance in November.
There we go. Think about that. Silo, before you also rush out, same question really. What must South Africans expect and think about this election? Quite an important election.
I think Mam Jane covered it all. I mean, the local government, grassroots level of the people interacts with people every day. The businesses that Mam Jane talks about, those are the businesses that are dependent on a functional municipality that is able to provide them water, because that car wash needs water. That small business that sells your kota, it needs electricity. And a municipality that is able to provide that service is able to make sure that those particular entrepreneurs are uplifted. And municipalities closest to the people, it assists at source, and that is the sphere of government that communities and young people in particular have to be able to take heed and say, I don't have to like the DA. This is not a beauty contest, but what you should be able to know about the DA is that it will provide water, it will be able to give you electricity, it will be able to build roads that will be able to access and make it easier for you to do your business. It will be able to empower you through its local economic development so that you can find yourself in an opportunity where your ideas do not sit at home, but they are able to be implemented. A local government that works for you is a local government that will be able to change the trajectory of this country.
Well, there you have it. I'd like to thank you so much to our guests. Of course, Silo Sitlulu, the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, as well as Mam Jane Sitole, who is the Deputy Minister of Small Business and Development. Now, South Africa Noordwes showed out an incredible day. As you can see, the blue machine is alive and well and really taking over. We are here to present a plan to the people of Noordwes. Better services, water in your taps, electricity in your street lights. This is the offer that the DA is making to you in these next coming local government elections. And of course, my name is Luyolo Mpiti. And before I forget, please ensure that tomorrow at 4 p.m. you check out the latest episode of the podcast coming to you live on all of our social media channels. You can check it out on YouTube at Democratic Alliance. It's a really incredible episode that will be coming up, so please make sure you check that. Well, that's it, guys. That's it from me. I mean, it's been an incredible day. The sun is out. We're soon going to find out who the new leadership of the Noordwes is going to be. So please stay tuned. Look at our social medias. We'll be making the announcement on there. That's it. My name is Luyolo Mpiti signing out. Thank you very much for joining me. See you soon.
McPherson, it's awesome to see you. It's almost been 2 years that you've been the Minister of Public Works. If you look at where that department is and the burning fire that it came from, how important was the GNU for that?
No coalition government is ever perfect. But if you say, is South Africa better today than it was on the 24th of May, 2024? The answer is absolutely yes. Unemployment is coming down. Growth has doubled in a year. We're off the grey list. We have received an investment upgrade for the first time in 2 decades. You know, all of that is not happening by chance.
The reality is that if we did not have a GNU that included the Democratic Alliance, that included the ministers in the departments we have in there, a lot of the stability and growth had been gone.
Watching. Join the mission to rescue South Africa. Like and follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and X. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell. Join the DA, because the DA gets things done.